gathering these nations together. Once that's being done, then Joel the 3rd chapter is going to come in effect. Go on.
That I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them mine indignation.
That I might assemble the kingdoms. What kingdoms is he talking about? What's some made up kingdoms in the sky? No. He's talking about all of these different governments or countries around the world. They're going to come together, all right, with their own allies. And then once they're all set, once the cards are set, then they're going to go blow for blow. Okay, go on. That's what that's going into. So when they go blow for blow, that's going to be it right there. And that's exactly what the agenda of the Most High is with these nations, these heathens. Go on.
Even all my fierce anger, for all the earth shall be devoured with the fire of my jealousy.
And that's going to be the fire of the Lord's jealousy, that nuclear fire, or whatever firepower they bring out, that's going to be the Lord's vengeance and jealousy on the earth. Fair and square. So that's what the attention, that's how the Most High is going to, that's partially how the Lord is going to take this man down. Now get me Isaiah 63, brother. You had a precept already, huh? Yeah, I'll get that. All right. So brothers, man, we're living in beautiful times now. It's like last week, man, I was kind of a bit emotional last week, but at the end of the day, hey man, we living in some beautiful times. We're literally at the end of this world. We're literally at the end. We're not coming towards the end. We're pretty much at the end. All right? We're at the end of the end, pretty much. Better said, brother. So we gotta rejoice. Not that moping and overly cussing, which is what I do, at times. Hey man, we gotta rejoice now. We gotta change the spirit up now. Because we about to go home, brothers. We about to go home. Okay, I'm gonna just put it that way. Go on.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 63, verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Bozrah?
Right.
This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength.
Right, traveling in the greatness of his strength. Go on.
I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save.
Right, I that speak righteousness and mighty to save. So what does it mean that he's going to come greatly in his strength? He's going to come with all of the power that the Most High blessed him with in those so-called UFOs. And then the angels are going to come in the midst with him as well. Keep going.
Verse 2. Wherefore art thou red in thine apparel?
And this is why you have Donald Trump and them. They looking to set up. They looking to formulate some kind of space military, what you call a space wars. All right, because they know somehow, some way, one day they're gonna have to face an alienated force out there. Okay, a strange force coming from out of heavens. Like my man, what did he say? Ronald Reagan. He gave a speech in the 80s. I believe it was 83, 84. He gave a speech and he said, what if we had to fight, I'm roughly paraphrasing what he said, but he said, what if we had to fight in an unusual force? Will we then put aside our differences? That's what he said. So in other words, what he was implying was a prophecy written in 2nd Ezra 13. Matter of fact, brother, if you could get me out, Revelation, not Revelations, that's 2nd Ezra 13. When we put our differences aside and fight up against the angels of the Lord, that's what he was really saying. Okay? And this is something that's pretty much confidential information, which people can get access to that information because all of it's on YouTube any doggone way. But people still believe that the forces that are going to come from space are pretty much green men with big heads.
Thanos and his troops.
Right. That's what they think. But it's really the angels of God that look like so-called black men. Okay, and the men of the tribes. The Lord is going to defend Jerusalem. Go on, brother.
And it says in verse 2, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel, and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat.
Yeah.
I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me, for I will tread them in mine anger, and will trample them in my fury.
I will trample them in my fury, and that's what Yahawashi is getting ready to do. he's going to trample these nations in his fury. Not just Esau, but all these other nations, because they all going to turn that wrath that they have against one another, and they're going to steer that wrath towards the Heavenly Father. But that's not going to work. They're going to lose miserably. The Lord is going to smack them with them lasers, and they're going to be brought right back down to the earth which they came. Go on.
And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment.
And I will stain all my raiment. The Most High is going to use his son, okay, to settle the score and bring this into fruition. That's the end result. It's spreading blood, man. The Lord is going to shed blood. Esau shedded blood, so blood is going to pursue him now. All right, go on.
For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come.
Right, and the year of my redeemed is come. So the Lord is going to redeem his people, and he's going to also redeem himself. Okay, in his glory. He's going to bring that all the way back. So there ain't going to be no more Buddha, or Hare Krishna, and all of these different gods out there, man. Muhammad, the only God that's going to be glorified is Yahweh, and his son is going to get that glorification on earth. All right, and that's where it's all going, baby boy. Go on.
And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold.
Yep.
Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me.
Right, exactly. So when you watch those movies that they made throughout the years, like Independence Day, you know, films like Star Wars and all of these different sci-fi films, really the elite, or should I say those that are involved in them Hollywood production films, they know the prophecies. And they know that scenario could very well play out. And this is why they make these films, to also use tactics such as predictive programming to give the people the idea to believe that maybe something like that could very well happen. Now, not consciously, but subconsciously. Because it's going to happen anyway. So yeah, the elites, they may not give the people the truth or tell them the truth right there and then, but they are telling them the truth subliminally. Okay? And that's how it's going to play out, man. That's how it's going to play out. Esau's not going to go on for another 200 years. And when you watch the film, Esau's going to win the battle. No, that's not how it's going to go. It's going to go the quite contrary, baby boy. All right? That's how it's going to go down. Go on.
And I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong, the thousands of heaven.
Yeah, because he's going to come with the innumerable amount of angels. That's what it means that he waxed so strong. Because not only you're going to see this big thing come out of the sky, but you're going to see the multitude of chariots that are going to come in the midst as well. That's why it says in Revelation 1, it says, every eye shall see him. And that's what it's all about. What we're going into right now, this is really the main prophecy of all prophecies. It's the coming of the Lord. Yeah, the trip is the main prophecy, but the coming of the Lord, that's the numero uno right there. Because that's the main thing that we seek for. Go on, brother.
Daniel 7:10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
Yep.
Thousands ministered unto him,
Right.
and 10,000 times 10,000
Yep.
stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
And that's a very good precept. But like I said, when the Lord makes his return, that's going to change the world. Yeah, it's going to be something that we want and we seek for, but that's going to change the world. But yeah, read that again, brother. I don't need to go off on that. Read that again.
Daniel 7:10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him.
Right.
Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000
Right.
stood before him.
Right, stood before him, which is those angels. All of those angels stood before him. Go on.
The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
Right, and the judgment was set and the books were open like now. The books are open right now. Right? So while the books are being opened, in the midst of all of that, the Lord is going to give us the bread like the supper we're doing. And all of this is going to happen. Go on, brother.
Psalm 68, verse 17. The chariots of the Most High are 20,000, even thousands of angels.
Yeah.
The Lord is among them, as in Sinai, in the holy place.
In the holy place, because when Moses was there to gather the commandments, what surrounded them? The chariots of God. Okay, and even the chariots right now, they're surrounding us right now, but we just don't see them. They only pop up when it's time for them to pop. But they're all in the midst. Whenever you see the prophets of the Lord, that's where the eyes of the Lord are at. Okay? So where are those men? Now, if you go inside, let's just say you go inside of a mosque or you go inside of any form of religion, them chariots ain't out there. Whenever you see the men doing the work that we're doing, that's where the chariots are at. Okay, that's why brothers will always see chariots. When they look up into the sky, they will always see these things, because we're the real people of the Most High. We're the real prophets of God. Okay? We're the servants of prophets. Go on, brother.
I say, like in 2 Ezra 13, verse 3, then and I beheld, and lo, that man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, and when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him.
Right, go on. And that's why it says every knee tongue and every knee tongue shall confess and bow. Every knee shall bow towards the Lord when they see the Most High coming. Because when the Lord brings himself on the earth, his presence is going to be overwhelming, and people are going to fear. Right? Go on.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all day burned that heard his voice.
Exactly, those laser beams came out of there, which laser is what you call concentrated fire. So when you have concentrated fire aiming at an object, that object is going to be dissolved and pretty much turned to what it was before it was even built. Okay? And that's going to be the end result. And this is why, like I said, Donald J. Trump, he has a thing such as setting up the space military or setting up a space war. Because they know somewhere down the line, in the midst of this nuclear war, the Lord is going to intervene. They know this very well. Such as Ronald Reagan, because see, when you become a president or a prime minister, you know certain things that the regular everyday person shouldn't know. Right? You know certain things that the people would just pretty much bug out if they knew about it, or they wouldn't believe it. But they know about all of this stuff. They know about prophecy. You better believe that Donald Trump, he knows about the prophecies in his book. Okay, all of them do, man. Obama, all of them cats, man. Who else, man? Theresa May. Okay, and this other prime minister that came before, David Cameron. All of them know the deal, man. All of them know. Go on, bro.
Tony Blair.
If you're a part of that aristocracy party, you know the deal. You know the real truth. Go on, bro.
And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all day burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feedeth the fire.
Exactly, go on.
And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven
so
to subdue the man that came out of the sea.
So they all came and gathered together as a multitude of men. In other words, these jet fighter planes, okay? And they all came to surround themselves against the Heavenly Father. And they didn't want to really fight the Heavenly Father, but the Most High put the Spirit in them to fulfill that which needs to be fulfilled, so that they can fight, and that the Most High can act on his on what he has.
So his power.
Right, his power. Go on,
man. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain, and flew up upon it. But I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was graven, and I could not.
Yeah, because Ezra thought it was a mountain. When he had saw the vision, he thought he saw a mountain, but really it wasn't no mountain. It was a big gigantic chariot that looked like a mountain. Go on.
And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him was sore afraid, and yet durst fight.
They didn't want to fight up against this man, or this entity, whatever they call it, okay? They call it UFOs, but we call it the IFOs, because we can identify those flying objects. That's why it says in Isaiah 47, I shall not meet thee as a man. Meaning he's going to come as an angelic force, a force not to be reckoned with, okay? And we're reading about it right here. So that's the end result of this world, this empire. Esau is going to be taken out by Yahawashi. No other Israelite is going to take this man down with Yahawashi in this form of fashion. Okay? Like you said before, brother, this whole entire earth is a stage, and the Lord has pretty much got all of his actors. You know what I mean? And that's just how it's playing out. That's how it goes. Yeah, keep going, brother.
It said, right. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword,
right,
nor any instrument of war.
In other words, a physical sword, because the Lord already has a sword already, and that sword is the laser beam. But it's talking about a physical sword, a carnal weapon. The Lord didn't have to lift a carnal weapon to take this man down. All he had to use is his power that Yahweh gave him already. You see that? That's all it took. You see, all it takes is for Yahawashi to come and set everything right along in order again. You see, the way everything is right now, the Most High set it up the way it is right now, but then he's going to flip the script the right way. Okay? Go on, brother.
So it says,
and it's going to be very easy for him to do that job. Very easy.
and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as had been a blast of fire,
right,
and out of his lips a flaming breath.
Right, and out of his, what is it?
Out of his mouth as had been a blast of fire,
Yep.
and out of his lips a flaming breath.
Right, a flaming breath, concentrated fire that only came out of there. Okay, it's just only just that. So when the Messiah returns, it's not going to be a nice day. Everyone's going to get together, hold hands, send each other flowers and roses and all this other shenanigans. No, it's going to be violence on this earth. It's going to be blood, pillars, and smoke and dust because of the ill dealings on the earth, and judgment is going to reign supreme because of that. Okay, especially them pastors too. The Most High is going to kick them one. The Most High is going to give them one rude awakening, man. I'm telling you. Go on, brother. And these shokers in the mosques too.
And out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight,
right,
and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude nothing was to be perceived but only dust,
yeah,
and smell of smoke.
And smell of smoke. So when you think about when brothers talk about the world war that's going to happen, you have to bring the Lord into that. The Lord is going to intervene into that as well. And that's why it talks about in Revelation 14:9. What does it say? Matter of fact, brother, somebody give me that.
I know that it's falling.
Because it talks about the chip, right? Whosoever receiveth the mark is going to receive the judgment without mixture. Well, I'm saying it correctly, or with mixture.
And it says, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
Right.
And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Yeah, because when the Messiah returns, that's all it's going to be. It's going to be all kinds of fire mixed together, laser and regular fire and all kinds of energy. Burns. It's all going to pretty much morph together, man. Or amalgamate. Let me use that term. All of that stuff is going to amalgamate, and whoever's down here on earth, they're going to be burnt crisp. That's why it says the day shall come that shall burn as an oven. in Malachi the 4th chapter. So that's the end result. That's what it's all about, brothers, man. What it's all about is the ending of this place. That's one of the things that we're supposed to focus on. Because what I've come to the conclusion of, man, we already know this already. There ain't nothing out here in this world, man. There ain't nothing out here. I mean, we talk about, let's say if a brother want to make money here, or a brother want to get a woman here. There's nothing out here. All right, let's say you try to set up your own business and all of that. Guess what, man? You got to go before Esau. You got to work your ass off. You got to do all of this extra bullshit. Okay, and then if you got to go get a woman, you got to realize that this woman is stained to hell. She had multiple different guys inside of JJ. All right, she done sucked so many rods and you going to kiss that woman in the lips. So that's the kind of shit you going to have to worry about, man. All right? I don't mean to say that, but I'm just making a point. The point of the matter is there's nothing here. There's nothing here for the men of the Lord. Okay, there's nothing to establish it. Like we went over last week. Right? Like we went over last week. Relationships is a scam. I spoke about that personally. Because at the end of the day, when you get in a relationship, who's really going to benefit in that relationship? She's going to benefit of it, man. And then if you get married, guess what? The state is going to get involved in that. And you ain't going to have no power in that relationship. Okay? But I'm not just talking about that. I'm just making a point. The moral of what I'm saying is there's nothing in this world, man. Because you got certain brothers, they may think they might have missed out on something. Yeah. Okay, but you ain't missed out on shit. Once you break this world down and you see what it's all about, you ain't missed anything, man. What it's all about is this, man. What it's all about is what we gonna get. The kingdom of heaven is gonna be established. All right, and before that happens, the Lord is gonna show His magnificent power. Okay, and he's gonna deliver us and bring us up back to our original state, and we're gonna be happy as ever after, man. That's what brothers should be looking forward to. Okay, go on, brother. Yeah, we know. Yeah, it's all right.
Verse 12. After I saw the same man come down from the mountain and called unto him another peaceable multitude.
Right.
And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, some were sorry.
Right. Those were the men that were beamed up. They got beamed up. The peaceable multitude. Okay, go on.
Some were sorry, some of them were bound, and others some brought of them that were offered.
And it says some of them were bound. So this is after the destruction now. So you're gonna have certain men that were glad, which are the elect. They were glad that the Father saved them out of their predicament, and those that overcame it. And you're gonna have those that are gonna be bound, those that are gonna be put into slaves. Put into slavery. Let me say that. I said put into slaves. I meant put into slavery. Go on.
Then was I sick through great fear, and I awaked and said, Thou showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning.
Right, I have showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning. I do of nothing but the Lord doeth nothing but He revealeth the secrets unto the servants, the prophets. Go on.
And hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream.
Right.
For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days.
Exactly, yeah.
And much more woe unto them that are not left behind.
Exactly, yeah. Because we're gonna be here when we see most of this stuff happen. Okay, and the Lord road we get beamed up. We get beamed the hell up, man, because if you're still down here at that time, although the Lord can deliver you still, because it may seem like the Most High, He's just pretty much forsake you. Those missiles gonna come down, and you're gonna be right there, right where that missile's at. And it's gonna seem like, oh man, the Most High, I ain't gonna be saved. I'm not gonna make it. But right there and then, you just ate the Most High delivers you. Give me that in 1 Peter the 4th chapter, brother.
Hop on there to see it.
Oh, you wanted to say something earlier before, didn't you? It was ages ago. You're going.
I was gonna say, like, I hope I'm there to see the chariots, the destruction, the enslavement of the elite of Esau. I hope I see all.
Yeah.
I pray that I see all.
And that's all you can do, brother. That's all you can do is pray and hope that that's going to be the case.
2/3 will see. That's why I said that we're gonna enter in
Yep.
to the kingdom. they're going to be born into the kingdom. They're not going to enter in. They won't have the glory of entering in.
They're going to take part of the the second death.
They'll be born and the kingdom will be there already set up, you know. The gold streets, with our houses.
The first brick.
Yeah.
It would be like a dream to them.
Yeah. Just read about it in the books, or the stories that we tell them.
On the walls, hieroglyphics on the walls.
They look at the pews, they'll see Esau, and they'll tell them, you see those people? They are the ones that ruled before us. You know? Isaiah 14, who, those people?
Have to teach them everything.
You know? They ruled.
And you used to like it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, what's that? Daniel's, the 12th chapter?
Yeah.
The discussion they had and shit.
Really, I like this. I went out with him.
Exactly, that's what the soul forgiven woman.
Yeah.
That used to be my husband.
She was disgusted with herself for knowing that.
Come on, I put brothers down for this devil. What the fuck?
You know when you're drunk, you might have go off some ugly bitch. You must have go off some ugly, and then you sober up and you realize, oh hell no.
Now when you wake up in the morning next to a woman,
I know she was like that.
Like a name with some ugly bitch. Ah, shit. Or you wake up and say tranny or some bullshit like that. That's not like gonna do no more.
They're gonna feel terrible, man. They're gonna feel real terrible. So yeah, that's what it's all about, brothers, man. It's all about looking for those days and times, man. Looking for the end of this world and looking for the rising of our people, man. Beginning with the elect, the coming of Yahawashi. Because all of this other stuff in this life, man, don't matter worth a damn. And I don't just say that to say that. I mean that. I mean what I say. Okay, this world ain't got nothing to offer us, man. Ain't nothing out here. Now, if brothers got a job, you got a good job, that's good, you know. But you just working it to survive, man. You ain't working at that job to make a name for yourself, or to make you know.
Daily bread.
Right, it's all for your daily bread, so to speak. You know, you're not here to please people in this world, because these people are all going to be dissolved and they're going to be destroyed, man. What I'm saying that what it's all about is these scriptures right here, man. That's what it's all about. Go on, brother. Yeah, 4. Yeah. Yes, a lot.
This is 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of the Most High. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of the Most High?
Exactly, yeah. Exactly. Go on.
And if the righteous scarcely be saved, what shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Exactly. So it's gonna seem like the elected pretty much not gonna make it. Some brothers are gonna seem like they're not gonna make it. But that's when the Most High delivers you right there on the spot. You see? So you're gonna have that scenario play out. So this is why we have to really focus on this truth. Forget about the things of this world. You know what I mean? If you can't get certain things you want, you're just gonna have to leave that to the back burner for now and focus on this. Because this is what's gonna save you out of here. All of this other shenanigans out here ain't gonna save you. And there ain't nothing out here for you anyway, when you really check it out. Alright? Is there any more now?
No, that's it.
Yeah, so you could give me the scripture too. It says give me the scripture where it says love not the world. Neither the things that are in the world. You got something.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
So, if I had an opportunity, to go and get myself on an electrical engineering,
No, go keep on.
if I had an opportunity to go and get myself on an electrical engineering course, installations course, it's not going to benefit me.
I mean, I'm not saying. Look. What I'm saying is this, right? Because sometimes, look, you know, the Most High can give you, you know, a career or a job to where it can sustain you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, look, brother, you just gotta let those certain things know. What I'm saying is this, you know, if you have a job, if you happen to get a good job, then that's good, that's all right. You know, get that job. You'd be a dumbass not to take that job.
It's not a job. It's
a school.
Yeah, it's studying, alternative studying other than this.
Right, but if
to get a job.
But if it gets to the point where it takes away from you being in this truth, then you're just gonna have to leave it. You're gonna have to let it go. You know what I mean? If you gotta go to school, man, and it gets to the point where you can't study, you can't come out here and hear what we have to say concerning the word, and you're just gonna have to let it go. Find something else. You know? But if you happen to find a good job and it's gonna pay you a reasonable amount of money, take the job. You know what I mean? It shouldn't prohibit you from this truth, so to speak. Get going, brother.
This is 1 John chapter 2 verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
Yeah, keep going.
For all that is in the